All right, episode 35 of the War Room. Brian, welcome.
What's going on? How you doing, Dustin?
Doing good, man. There's a lot of stuff going on. Biggest news of the day, though.
Yeah, we got
Chad Mark Chad Markley's got a Facebook. Biggest news of the day.
yeah, we
So
uh we unfroze hell for a little while, I guess. Got him on there, so that's awesome to see. Go out and follow him.
yeah, so everybody needs to. We want Chad to have 100 followers by the time this thing's over, and heck, 1,000 by the end of the week. I think Chad's going to be putting out some pretty neat content coming up too. So I think he'll gain some on his own. But Chad Markley, if you get on Facebook, just search for Chad Markley. He's ahead of the game. He's even got the demo profile picture up. I mean, easily identifiable. He's
Right,
rocking.
right. He's earned points now. He's off our list.
Yeah, he's good to go. Man, there's a lot going on. Okay, well, you're in tune with all this. You're involved in all of it. What's the number one subject? I mean, what are you most excited about?
Well, I don't know. I mean, like that's a hard question to answer, really. I think if you go on the Bristol website right now and go to their events page and go down to the end of the page and see in October, I see a demo one at Bristol on their events page now. So I know there was some questions about it not being there, but it's there now. So it's real. I'm pretty excited to see that. That just makes it all the more real for us. And this is real. This is happening. So that's great.
Yeah, I definitely caught some flack for not having that up, but there was a process to it. It was supposed to all come out. There was a soft release, and then, but people were asking for it, so we got it up there today. And so if you go to the Bristol website and check out the events, as Brian said, you are certainly going to see demo one is has arrived.
Yeah, it is on the schedule, official. That is really exciting stuff for not just us here at Demo, but also for the entirety of the demo world. Um, you know, things can happen when you move in waves and you move together and you have unity and strength in numbers. Things can happen, and that's what we're doing.
The neatest thing I think about all this is seeing people move one direction, and you see the waves and the power that everybody has to move one direction, the influence, and it's just really neat to see, man. I'm That's the biggest thing that I see is I'm excited that everybody is really just like excited about the event, obviously, but moving one direction and share and following. I mean, the teams that are getting voted in, these teams are unbelievable. Okay, you got a list of 17 that are just
Yeah,
unreal. Everybody deserves to be in. Everybody's
right.
doing their part, getting on their vote. And I mean, 6,000 votes in one day.
Yeah, that's unreal. And then you go to our demo Facebook group page and you check and see how many times that post was shared. I'm not sure what it's at right now, but I think the last I looked, it was over 450. I'm not sure what it is right now. Maybe you can check that out. But 450 shares of that post, that voting post. That's what we wanted to accomplish is get everybody involved. Vote, be a part of the process, and you guys are doing it. And then we keep doing it, keep being a part of it, and that's a big deal to us.
No, it's a big deal for the sport. I don't, I,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
it's
mean,
not even, it's beyond anything that it's for the sport. 470 shares, by the way. I don't think I've ever seen anything with 470 shares.
so we got some questions coming in. It looks like about tickets and about other classes coming up. So ticketing information, classes, that stuff will be out in April. April 1st, we're going to put out a video. I'll put out a video about all the classes that are going to be able to be available for you to run at Bristol. Other than the Pro and the Pro Light, there's going to be quite a few. A lot of attractive opportunities there for people. And then ticketing information will follow soon thereafter. We're finishing up some details with that right now and making sure that we have those things ironed out and we're agreed upon and all that kind of stuff. So we'll definitely put that information out when it's available. That'll be in April.
Yeah, absolutely. Devin, talking about charters for compact teams. those have not. We haven't even started on that process yet. So it's pretty much taken everything everyone's got, right? I mean, honestly, from the charter members to the presidents of the divisions to everything everyone else has got to get everything done to this point. I guess one big thing that we are working on this week is finding, securing, and signing into contract head inspectors.
Yeah,
So
we had some meetings about that. We're out there contacting head inspectors as we speak. We're gonna take those resumes and those names and put them through an interview process, and then get them on board, and then we'll get that information out to everybody. So that's pretty exciting stuff, man. And the
yeah, it's
names
kind of
are good names.
it's kind of the next step. And look, the drivers are second to none on both lists, right? That are coming in, and then the other side of that is the inspection side. You want to make sure that you get the inspection side right. It's always a question mark, that hey, going into a derby, how are you going to call this? Blah 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 blah. So we're going out and doing our due diligence, and we've got some really really big names, and maybe not so big names, but extremely respected guys in the sport that are going to come in, provide oversight in the inspection process. And I think what's really exciting about that is you're going to see a different inspection. You're going to see a real professional inspection with guys that are, there to do a job and there to get things right. And that's what we're going to go through when we have these last meetings, to choose, hey, who's going to be the head guy, and then who's going to be the crew that is along with him.
Yeah, the whole idea there is for our inspection process is to be, like you said, very professional. So what's part of that? That's consistency. That's credible. That's accountability. And we're going to make sure through our processes and our procedures and our all the things that we have in place right now, and then we're going to have in place with respect to that process. We're going to make sure that it's a positive experience when you're coming through tech. It's going to be fair, and you're going to leave with a positive outlook towards that. So thinking that everything went right, and that's exactly what we have to do. We have to start doing that in this sport.
Yeah, and when you're operating as an organization, there's a lot of things that go on the back end. As you know, Brian, you've been working on a lot of stuff, from just like competition rules to and understanding that this shows operates as anything like something different in the derby world. And there's going to be stipulations, there's going to be consequences, there's going to be obligations that you have to uphold on your end.
Absolutely. And if you look out into the motorsports world, the national level of motorsports, and you can name your motorsport, that's how every single one of them operate, and that's why they're successful. So that's the model that we chose, is that successful model, and to do it any other way is just irresponsible on our part. So we're not going to do that. So I'm really excited about everybody to this point being on board with that mindset, and that's ultimately, from the beginning, we talked a lot about mindset changes, culture changes within the sport, and this is definitely a big part of that. So when it's new, we understand that when things are new and have never been done a certain way before, they're generally harder to swallow at first. And we saw that at the beginning when we put the demo organization out at first. But now, now this is the right way. I think people are more receptive to what we're doing here. So I'm really excited about that.
Well, as you mentioned, it's got to run like an organization. There's plenty of successful organizations out there. You just got to take a look at and see how they're ran. And one of the things is, it's a group of people that are running the organization. And that's essentially what we have here. It's really neat to see everybody do their part. You're obviously in the behind the scenes, and you get to see it all, but it's so neat to see, connections here, phone calls there, whatever, and just start putting all the pieces together. It's really neat.
Yeah. And, it's never been done before, this to this degree. I know it's been tried, and I know people can probably point out different instances of that. And hats off to those people who tried it before. Maybe they just it wasn't the right time, didn't have the right resources, whatever, didn't have enough people involved. But the way that we're doing this, I think we're doing it the right way, and we're going to learn. We're going to continue to learn as we go, and continue to not only get things done, but we're going to evaluate ourselves as we go, making sure that we're doing things appropriately and as best as we can. So that's the main message, is to get it right. That's all we want to do, is get it right.
I want to speak on just the entertainment and what you're going to see, at demo events, and then going forward, at King events, too, and the separate deals we got going on there. They're specifically separate of demo at this point is obviously Triple D and then the King of Ohio. We're going to get into superstar matchups and everything that's going to be happening there in the next couple weeks. But at the demo event, I mean, the classes, okay, the 2 classes that we have so far, I imagine this is going to play out across the board, working its way down from the front wheel drives to the rear wheel drive stocks to the minivans to the trucks, and so on and so forth. We're going to get to see the premier competition in the United States, and that's what's cool. I mean, you look at those 2 classes, Brian.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think when we put these team lists out, when they do come out and everybody sees who's on whose team, and if you don't already know some of those teams, I know some of them have been making posts and have given their teammates names out and things like that, but you're going to see 2 lists, 2 divisions worth of 16 teams that are just going to be every heat. I mean, every heat. And we say this a lot in the sport where, other team shows like, oh, you don't want to miss this heat. But I truly believe that in this case, that's the absolute fact. Like, it's just going to be incredible in competition. I'm just really excited for that.
And you got teams from, I think for the first time, this event is capturing, if you want to call it, what do you call Kansas? You call Kansas like the Midwest? Is that still Midwest, or is that getting out there a little bit?
I think so. I mean, maybe someone from Kansas would come in here and correct us if we're wrong, but I think Kansas is still considered Midwest. I don't think it starts being West until you get out to like Colorado.
Okay, so we'll call it Midwest. So Midwest meets maybe like the eastern part of the United States, and that's what you're seeing at this show for the first time. Is you get that essentially Kansas, Missouri, even North Dakota onward this way, all the way to New York, and you're covering that part of the country, which is a huge span of the country. And that's, I mean, even the teams that are getting voted in, man, there was one Ohio team, I think. But you see the list of states on there, it's all over the place.
Right. And, what better representation of the entirety of the demo world. We'd love to have more teams from the outside on the West Coast. I mean, we understand that there's, challenges with travel and all those things, but, we plan on going out there, at some point here, after this year, we plan on going out West and doing events out there too. We've talked about that. So, we want to make this as available to all regions of the country as possible.
Yeah, that's the idea, right? I mean, to create a true a sanctioning body, and obviously the foundation is there now. And by the way, did we say the event is up on the Bristol Events website? Did we mention that?
Yeah, we did.
Okay,
it's happening. If you're not already going, so we're going down to the spring race this weekend, the Food City 500, and prior to the truck race on Saturday and the Cup event on Sunday, what's happening before then, Dustin? What are we doing for them down there?
I think guys that are coming down with us are going to get a chance. Is the Kyle Larson thing for sure deal? What's going on there?
I'm not going to say it's confirmed, but it's very close. So I have a guy who is Kyle Larson's gas man. He's a good friend of mine, Brandon Harder. He's a demo guy. He's a demolition derby guy from my area here in Northwest Ohio. And he, like I said, he's the gas man for Kyle Larson, was the gas man for Jimmy Johnson for a number of years. And I've been talking with him, and we're trying to set up a meet and greet with Kyle on Saturday prior to the races. So it's almost done. It's almost done. I'll just say that.
That's awesome. So we got a meet and greet on Saturday. It seems to be like there maybe could be some Kenny Wallace talk too. Okay, maybe we'll get to rub elbows or drink a couple beers with Kenny.
Right.
Maybe we can get that done. But for sure, what is happening on Sunday is we got X amount of passes, so we do have some extra passes for people that are coming down. They can come in the pits and rub elbows with the NASCAR guys with us. So Bristol is kind of treating us well,
Yeah.
and giving us a lot of opportunities down there for
Yeah.
anyone that's willing to come down.
We're gonna be camping on site over there by the drag strip, Thunder Valley. We're gonna be setting up a couple campers over there. That's going to be a really fun time. And then on Sunday, we have the opportunity to do a garage tour. Through the Bristol people are giving us that opportunity as well to go out and check out the garages and get to see everything up close. For what they're doing in their garage areas. I think that's awesome too.
Yeah, yeah, just to have that type of access is going to be pretty cool. So,
Mhm.
hey, and in a space that NASCAR is occupying, that we are going to call home in 7 months, close to
Yeah.
7 months, we will be calling home, and home as Demolition Derby. Demolition Derby can call Bristol home. So, we are extremely, extremely excited for that. Brian, you got to do something pretty neat. Okay, let's talk about that. You got to pull into Bristol. What was that like?
I mean,
Pulling
I
into
so having had never been there before for a race or anything like that. I didn't know what to expect. So I did my homework. I looked up pictures and some videos and stuff like that. So I had some idea, but I'm telling you, when you walk into the stadium, let's not talk about going down to the infield and being on the track yet. Let's just talk about walking into the stadium, kind of seeing what the view is going to be like and what the magnitude of the facility is. So as you pull up to it, you're not even on site yet. It's massive. It's a massive facility, and it's just impressive from every angle, every road you see it from. And then you park, you walk in, and you're walking through the bottom of the grandstands, and you get out that first opening, and you get to see the track and everything. It kind of blows you away. And then to think on top of that, we're going to have a demolition derby here. Just further, I mean, it just kind of leaves you speechless for a few minutes. And then on top of that, you know, for those of you who are going to compete in this event, you're going to get to go through the entrance that the haulers go through and all that stuff, and you're going to get to see it's Bristol, baby, that sign, and that's iconic in and of itself. And then to be in the infield, I'm telling you, like, I don't know I've ever been in a cooler environment, and I haven't even been there for a race or a derby yet. So I can only imagine what it's going to be like.
Then on top of that, you get to experience Victory Lane. Okay, Victory Lane's on the second story of where they do the drivers meeting, so the
Mhm.
NASCAR drivers meeting. And for those of you that want to see a little bit of what you're going to experience down in October, check out the NASCAR Full Speed. NASCAR Full Speed shows you kind of exactly the places we get access to and the places where we can be, and they show that drivers meeting, which will be our like headquarters and the media centers next door. But the Victory Lane's right on top of that, man. Second story, you get to walk up there and take pictures. There's going to be a pit passes available, so people are going to be able to come in and experience that.
Yeah,
All the pro and pro light teams are going to be inside the track. Now,
right.
now that is cool. Think about that. You're going to be
Yeah,
pulling in with your equipment, your cars, everything, and you're going to be pitting, in the track. Everything's going to be in the track.
yeah. We went down there and we kind of mapped it out how we thought it was going to work, and we figured, we got plenty of room here to put all these guys in here. These pro and pro light divisions in here, and then like you said, we're going to have pit passes available. So at certain times, the fans will be able to walk around and mingle with the drivers and the teams and get to talk to them and take pictures, sign autographs, all those things, and get to see the work. Get to see the work up close and personal, and make that pit pass really mean something. Um, and have that value that you're paying for, and we want to give you that, and that's just the interaction you can have with the teams. You get access to an area that not a lot of people have ever been to, and I just think that's really awesome, really neat thing.
Walking the track. Well, hey, we got to talk about our what did we do, like a 12-second lap in the truck twice?
Well, you were driving, so I don't think it was quite that fast. If
It
I'd have been
wasn't.
driving, I'd have showed you something. I'd have showed you
We,
something.
we did get to do a couple laps. Hell, everyone down there got to do a couple laps. We're a lap around Bristol.
Yeah. Well, what's every competitor going to get to do?
Every competitor down there. So one of the neatest things that the guys are going to get to do is, prior to them running their heat, is everybody's going to take a lap. The whole class. Let's say it's a front wheel drive or two-man front wheel drive team show.
Mm-hmm.
You get to take a lap. Everybody's taking a lap. So you're going to be able to cruise around Bristol, take a lap, and then all of a sudden, settle in, get yourself settled in on pit lane, and then the heat draws happen. So I think one of the neatest experiences that you could ever imagine is taking a lap around Bristol.
Yeah, those banks are no joke. What are they, like 31 degrees or something like that? It's just so cool. In a couple years ago, several years ago, I got to do I went to Michigan International Speedway, MIS, and I got to actually drive a real race car, about 16 laps around that track, and the banks there were impressive enough. But you go down here, and it's just a completely different animal. So I'm excited for everybody to get to take a lap. That's going to be really cool.
Now, Devin, we gotta look. I mean, we can't. I'd expect a little bumping. Rubbin's racing, right? I would expect that. I guarantee you, if I'm going around the track and Brian's in front of me, I'm giving a little love tap for sure. But we can't start the Derby premature. I can tell you that.
Don't make us break out the black flags on the lap around the. Don't do that.
Don't be doing that. Just little love taps here and there would be cool.
Push people along. Get them moving a little bit.
Yeah, no doubt. That's just on the banking. It's so, I don't think people realize I think it's 36 degrees.
Is it that much? I said 31, but I wasn't quite sure. So
it's in the 30s. It's mid 30s, I think. And I mean, that's a lot.
Yeah. It's going to be crazy. Like I said, you just don't it's one of those things where you don't understand it until you're actually there, and you go walk up into those, it turns 1 and 2, and you're on that turn corner right there, and you can just literally lean over and put your hand on the track. Like it's crazy stuff.
No, I don't think you might have to just refuel. Okay. I don't think you want to miss that. You're going to have to take a lap. There's no doubt. You might just have to throw some more alcohol on it on pit lane. I mean,
we'll let you refuel the car before you get on the track.
Brent's throwing something at you here.
Yeah. So with the limited amount of space, obviously in the infield, we can't have everybody pitting in the infield. That's just feasibly not going to work. So what there is, though, is there's overflow parking lots just outside the track. I think it's called the North parking lot. It's just outside. And then if we have to utilize another parking lot, we'll do that. So we'll have one separate parking lot in the overflow area for our other team events, our other team vehicles and competitors. And then we'll have all the singles classes in another parking lot. So everybody's kind of pitted together, and it just makes more sense. But still, you're going to get to make that drive into the track, and you're going to get to do the lap and the whole 9 yards. So.
I was just thinking, it was just hitting me, like the pictures that everyone's going to get to experience, whether it be in victory lane with their team, and certainly celebrating if they do get a chance to win or finish, top 3 or whatever. I mean, those pictures are just going to live on forever. I think the stories that are going to be told from Bristol, if Bristol could talk to us and tell us the stories that have been there, but then us adding those stories to the history of Bristol is just crazy. Honestly, it's wild. Honestly, it
Right.
is when you start to think about it, it's pretty wild.
Right. And we're gonna, there's a lot of stuff that we've talked about and are looking at from an adding to the entertainment of the event itself. Like what I think we can definitely get done, and I'm in talks with a few of my former military guys, and this is something I haven't even brought up. But for all you out there who are vets, former military, such like me myself, we're planning on having the color guard out there uh, to be a part of the show and potentially a flyover.
Oh,
We're looking
whoa,
at that
whoa,
too.
whoa, whoa! What did you just say there?
A flyover, potentially.
Now, look, I don't. We can't potentially. Is that what I? It was potential, right?
Potentially, I've already talked with a former Marine buddy of mine. His name's Kyle Branham. He's a Marine, and we've talked about the process for getting them there. It's just a matter of scheduling and making sure that the event meets their approvals. But the military absolutely supports events and wants to do those kinds of things. It's opportunities for their pilots to get training time in and to be to do some good PR for the people that they're protecting. And as a vet, I take that very seriously, and I want to make sure that we do something for our veterans and acknowledge them as well. So,
You think that can be? You think you can get that done? You really?
there's nobody. Have you? Is there anything you've told me to do that I haven't done yet? I'm not here to say no or quit on you. So I'm not going to quit on the vets either. We're going to get it done.
I tell you what, I think that right there would be. I mean, that's a signifying moment. Just the respect, because I just think a lot of people, um, with veterans, are our veterans, are no veterans, or have served, whether it's grandmas, grandpas, cousins, nephews. I mean, that's wide. That's a wide deal, and it's going to capture a lot of hearts right there.
Yeah, then they deserve it. They 100% deserve it. We'll work on some other opportunities. I think for the vets, it's something that I'm going to personally take on. So I see there's a question about getting some sort of discounts. Maybe we don't have anything set in stone yet, but I'm gonna pursue all avenues and make sure that we get some things done for the veterans out there too, and our first responders for that matter. Our police, fire, EMS crews, people who are involved with those. Without them, we live a completely different life. So
Yeah, and a lot of times we don't give it. They don't get those. Even the first responders. I mean, beyond the military, don't get enough respect, man, and definitely respect needs paid for sure.
yes,
So
100%.
that's awesome. And look, if you can get that's surprising me. I mean, I know that we've had some conversations, but look, if we can get that done, like
Yeah, there's just event details that we got to put into. They're called DD forms. It's standard form names and numbers for the military. Those vets out there know what I'm talking about when I say a DD. It's a Department of Defense form, and we have to fill those forms out and then send it in for approval. And if we can get that approval, we're going to make those things happen. And I fully plan on pursuing that. So as we get more information and details with respect to the show, we'll get those forms filled out and sent in as early as we possibly can. And I'll continue to make sure that we can accomplish those things.
that is just that's awesome, man. That's
Mm-hmm.
great. There's a couple other questions we want to make sure we ask. Look, there's going to be plenty of RV camping, and I mean they bring in 150,000 for the race. So as far as like camping, all that stuff, don't worry about that.
Yeah,
It's
we have access to the whole facility, so
yeah,
there's
it's
plenty.
virtually unlimited, right?
Right. You're not going to struggle to find a camping spot. I can promise you that.
Now we will keep you, guys in certain areas just to make sure that it's all corralled. But yeah, we'll
Yeah,
have all that information out. And what mid-April, April 1st, we'll have a lot of information out. Probably mid-April will be tickets and that type of stuff.
yeah. Well, we're going to incrementally put things out just so we're not bombarding everybody with all the information at once. We want to give you a chance to digest some of it and ask some questions and things like that. So we'll incrementally put information out as we go here.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that to keep in mind is, everything we're doing is pretty new to the Derby world, and that does take some time for people to digest this. So we don't want to overwhelm people.
Right.
Here's a question on pay-per-views. We're gonna have Derby Tees there, so Derby Tees, our DerbyNation.tv,
Yep.
will be filming the event, providing the pay-per-view.
Yep.
And we're working with them. We're excited, man. They're gonna,
Yeah.
I think they're gonna be pulling some hats, or some rabbits out of the hats that they haven't done before. So no pressure on them, but they're gonna provide a great production.
I'm sure Mark Klein and his group will do a great job. So.
Yeah, Kyle, this would be awesome, man. Are you? I wonder if you're down by there, or where exactly you're located. But yeah, bring it. Bring one. Come all.
100%.
Hey, we got a legend in the house here. We got our announcer, Jeff
Oh,
Hobbs.
Jeff Hobbs is in the
Yeah, we're gonna
building.
bring him. He's in the background. We're gonna bring him in the room.
All right, Hobby,
Let,
come on.
let everybody get familiar with our guy. He's our announcer. He's the voice of Triple D, and now will be the voice of Demo.
Absolutely. Hey, Jeff.
Oh, you're muted.
You're muted. Can't mute the announcer.
There we go. Oh, no, we ain't got him. He'll get it figured out. Give me a thumbs up when you get it figured out. We'll take him back in. Technology.
We'll have Chad help him out with the sound. Chad Markley will help him out. That sound.
Yeah, we'll get Chad in here. He'll get it figured out for him. We'll see if old Hobby Dog can get that figured out. We'll bring him back in. Hobby, you got it figured out? Nope.
You have your mic, so your settings, you need to make sure your computer has mic access under audio.
So as we're waiting, we'll just we'll keep Hobbs up. So when we can hear him, he'll jump in. So look, man, what else do we need to talk about? Is there anything else going on that we need to get out there? We got the voting for the teams. We got 6,000 people, voting in the first day. And by the way, that list is close, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull that up to go through that a little bit.
Yeah, let's pull that poll up and see what
I can share my screen. Oh, I gotta pull it up first here.
Oh, the track. Kenneth Engel just asked a question about the track we're going to do.
Oh,
Do we have any update there, Dustin? Or what do you think, man?
I don't know. What are you thinking?
I thought we had this conversation the other night, and I don't know. I think I feel pretty confident in the way we're going to go.
Are we leaning somewhere?
I think we are. I think we're leaning towards an asphalt track.
Yeah, so I think the more and more conversations that are had, it seems like we are leaning towards an asphalt track again, not set in stone. Dirt is definitely a strong possibility, but we're leaning, and at least some of the guys are leaning and pushing for sure. So we'll see. I mean, look, either way, I think it's going to be dynamite. Here's the teams. We got Whitaker Salvage. It's Whitaker and NLR. Salvage.
Yep.
We got to get NLR on there. I think it just got left off.
Yeah, sorry, Mavis. Sorry, John Mavis. There we forgot.
Yeah, sorry about that. Maybe it just got cut off or something. I don't know. We'll make sure that gets back on. So we got them leading the way. We got Crazy Inc. Any surprises in here, Brian?
I'm going to be completely honest. I didn't know a lot about Team Dad, but I'm very impressed with their poll numbers thus far. I think that's awesome. That's great that they have that much support. I'd love to see them there. I went through the names and started looking up some of the guys, and I'm like, okay, all right, let's go.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm pretty impressed across the board. Obviously, you have some people sticking out here, but to get 300 some people vote for you, pretty impressive, honestly.
Yeah, and then you got Johnson Wrecking Crew there, or XP Derby Parts. Those names are very familiar, I think, to the Derby world. RDP, um, that's a huge following of that group. And then Mad Mike DeFriscia, team coming on strong. That's awesome. And there's still a lot of other teams out there in the running. You got Team America, you got Chaos in the Valley, Team Blackout. Just the click. Some really great teams. I don't want to leave anybody out. And I don't mean to, but I think the list of teams we have here is really impressive.
So if we're going right now, the top 7. Now, look, this is going to last a week. Okay, so this could fluctuate a little bit, but the top 7's what? Whitaker, Crazy Inc.
Then you got
Johnson Wrecking Crew, right? Dad,
and
DAD.
Dad's in 4th place, man. Wow.
Realistic Derby Project, 5th. Mad Mike's 6th, and
Chaos in the Valley.
Yeah, Chaos in the Valley, rounding it out.
Awesome. That is awesome.
So you got some people that are close though. Team Blackout, Team America, The Click, FBI, Team Green. I mean, Misfits. They're all in it. I mean, you're 500 votes away. Some of these guys are showing 500 votes isn't too many votes. That's not a lot. So
get on the website and vote. If you want to see these guys in there, get on the website and vote. Spread the word. Do everything you got to do. I mean,
the neatest thing about all this, honestly, is that these guys were willing to throw their names in and say and do this. Like this is the moves that the sport is making, and right now, in the sense of whether it's the venue or whether it's the payout or whatever it is, that guys like this, extremely popular guys in the sport across the board. Obviously, you're seeing it in the poll results, but the guys are just putting their name out there and letting the people say, "Hey, look, we want to see these guys," because this is what we need. This is what we need as a sport.
And to that, a lot of these guys put their names in before we even had a set of rules out officially to the public. And all the other information, they did it blindly, and that speaks to the willingness to take a chance, take a risk, and be a part of something new and something potentially, I'm not going to even say potentially. I think it's going to be incredible for not only demo, but also for the entirety of the demolition derby world. The amount of people that we're going to bring into this sport through this venture, this organization, is just going to blow people away, I think. And we're already seeing it. And if we just continue to be mindful and intentional about the decisions we're making and the things that we're doing, I don't think failure is even remotely an option.
No, I mean, you're seeing the snowball roll down the hill, at this at this time, so it's definitely a big deal. Josh says, will there be voting for individual classes? I don't believe so, right? We haven't.
No, we haven't officially said yes or no to that. But if I had to guess, based on our conversations, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do voting for individual classes. We're going to do more of a registration periods of time there where people can get a chance to get into the show.
Yeah, well, look, we know there's going to be a lot of people that probably want into the show in these smaller classes. Let's see, old Hobby Dog, see if he got it figured out here. Hobbs, you there?
We got it, baby.
Oh, there we go.
The voice of demo.
Yeah, I had to get on my phone, but just technology.
You need to turn a couple lights on, man. We can hardly see your face.
Yeah, I have a face that was made for radio, Brian. So
I don't agree. I don't agree.
All right, just listen to what you guys had to say. It's super cool. I mean, being a guy that is a college basketball guy, a college football guy, and now 4 years in Demolition Derby. I mean, seeing the fire that is, this has just caught fire like a wildfire, and just so cool to see 6, 7, 8,000 votes. I mean, in less, in 2 days. I mean, and super cool to see the names on there. I mean, some very recognizable names, some names that, again, that I don't recognize because I'm not, a nationwide Derby guy. But again, just super cool to see how this has just caught fire. And I think people are starting to believe. And, I watched a couple of your podcasts from a few weeks ago talking about the way that PBR came on the scene. And I did some research after watching that. And Dustin, you were right on the money, man. I mean, just you got a group of folks that got together, put a little scratch in and said, hey, let's make something special. And geez, something special, what, $12,000 turned in, or $20,000 turned into $100 million. So, if we get even close to that, this could be pretty cool.
Yeah.
This takes belief, right? There's two ways to this, right? And I said this to Brian the other day. Somebody made a comment, and I said it to Brian the other day. I said, the people out there saying, hey, look, this is not going to work, or I guarantee you, I don't see it work. It's like that's just the easy way out. There's two ways. Anytime something, happens, right, or you make a goal to do something, it can either be a success or it can fail. And when you're the guy sitting back there and predicting the failure, well, you chose the easiest route because it requires you to do no work. The successful part of it requires you to do all the work. And what's neat about it, Hobbs, is this is like all these different people. I mean, there is people across the nation putting their time, effort, obviously money into it, and to make it all work. And that's the difference. This could never be done by one person. It was never going to be done by one person. It was always going to be a collective group. And if you look at anything else out there, that's pretty much how they operate.
Well, two thoughts. I mean, the crazy thing, 4 years ago when we started this thing, Triple D Entertainment, and the way that we went about our business, there were a lot of folks that just couldn't buy in, couldn't believe in the format. Now you've got people across the country, some of the best in the business, say, I love the format. Boy, I think that's cool. I mean, it's just, 1v1 or 3v3 or however it works. And, given again, does it ever going to eliminate teaming? Is it ever going to eliminate saying, no, there's some things at Derby that are never going to, you guys have been, in cars your whole life. You're never going to eliminate. However, there's some things that really can level the playing field. And then, my second thought is looking at that list of 17 teams or whatever there is there, can you imagine just having that as your Derby? Those 17 teams coming to your Derby, you talk about a shootout. That's big time right there. And they're fighting to just get in this thing, with the popular vote, which, again, just super cool. I mean, that people are buying in. And again, there's interest. And that's, when people get interested, now all of a sudden good things happen.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Think about that. A normal team show has 16 teams. If you just take the 17 on this list, it might be, I mean, arguably it could be one of the best team shows in the nation right there. Those 17.
100%. You got fireworks, you got big time builders, you got big time drivers, you got people that are all in. That they spare no expense. And again, we know that doing Triple D for the last 4 years, I mean, Derby is for everybody. It's for somebody who wants to put $50,000 in the car, or it's for somebody who wants to put $500 in the car. We love them all. And that's what's special about Demolition Derby and makes it special. But again, that's 17, mercy. I mean, you talk about some big time builds, some big time drives, and again, some big time collisions that could be super cool. And those guys are just fighting to get in.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not sure what this comment means. Ain't no way each class is paying 100.
Well, believe it, because it's happening. I don't know what else to tell you.
Okay, man. I mean, this is the part of you either. I mean, I don't know what that even comment means. Each class is paying 100,000. So, and that's that we haven't even talked about. Have we hit on that enough that it's 100,000, not only once but twice?
Yeah, that's guaranteed money. It's happening.
Well, and again, I'm going to tell that person, come see it. Get yourself down to Bristol, because let me tell you, that venue is ridiculous. It's going to be unbelievable. I mean, just again, just the comments between dirt and asphalt. I mean, I think again, I'm probably a believer in asphalt just because of the fact that, I know how hard it's going to be to get all that dirt in there and get it all out of there. But and again, you're going to have super collisions and super show on either one. But I mean, get your butt down there, get to Bristol. It's the real deal. I mean, it's special. We know what that venue is for NASCAR. It's going to be like unbelievable for, as a Derby venue.
Yeah.
Here, I'll serve one up to you, Brian. You've been doing some homework on how long these heats are going to last. So
a typical team heat 1v1, and I did some math based on some other shows that I watched. It's about 5.5 minutes of heat. There's no time for bagging, and the way that we're going to do this track, you're not hiding anywhere on it. So either you get with it or you get taken out. I mean, it's going to be that simple. So I don't expect a bag fest whatsoever. And with the caliber of drivers and competitors that we have thus far and are going to have, it's a non-issue. It's a non-issue.
Well, and I'll add on to that, Dustin, that, 4 years ago when you brought me into this great sport, you talked about guys that was sandbagging and just this, that, and the other. And that's what the format was all about. I remember you saying it's going to be on from the jump. And then, when I've done the broadcasting and the podcasts and, and interviews, we talk about getting it on from the get-go, get it on from the jump. And there's again, no place to hide when you're out there. And that's the beauty of it. And then adding it to a team, I think it makes it even cooler.
Yeah.
And look, I'm not. Go ahead, Brian.
I was just going to say some of these comments, that are, not, I don't want to say they're negative or positive. They're just kind of skeptical. It's okay to be skeptical. It's fair. Because that's the culture that we've created as a Derby community, right? We've had those problems with sandbagging and politics and all those things. So it's fair to be skeptical, and that's okay. But we'd love to prove you wrong, and that's all that there is to it. We want to win your support no matter where you stand on it right now. We want to get to the point where you're a believer, and just give us that opportunity, and we're going to make that happen for you.
Well, I'll tell you, Brian, I agree with you. 4 years later, it's been some of the skepticism. It's been some of the questions. It's been some of the folks that have brought good thoughts to the table that have made Dustin Woods think about how we can make this better, how we can make Triple D Entertainment better, how we can make the King of Ohio better. And now it's all about how can we make Demo better. And again, who better to the folks that you brought into this thing, that have bought into this thing, Dustin. I mean, the best of the best. And, seeing those guys sit around those tables at Bristol and having big league conversations and doing, again, these are guys that you go to war with on the track, and they have for years. And now all of a sudden they're in the same war room talking about things, coming up with a way how we can make this sport better and how we can take it to the next level together. Again, that answered a lot of questions for me, a guy who's a short timer in Derby, but totally understands sometimes the negative vibe and sometimes the skepticism about politics, sandbagging, teaming, all that.
Yeah. Yeah. And perspective is everything, right? So the more perspectives we have, the better. So if you have ideas, if you have thoughts, we welcome them. If you have questions, ask them. I said it the other night on a response to a post or a comment in a post. If you're curious, just ask questions. It doesn't take a lot of effort to ask questions. Instead of making unfair conclusions, just ask us questions, and we'll help you get to the right place.
And on that, they're coming in here and asking questions, and we want them to do that. So we're going to keep with those questions here. So is it a singles going to be invite only?
No, not at all. In fact.
Is it a tech crew going to be an outside tech crew?
Yes.
Good. And then we covered this, but Andrew might have missed it, so cover that again.
So Andrew, we're going to put all the single class information, all the other classes, so including singles classes, we're going to put that information out on April 1st. I'll make a video and put that all that information in there for you guys. And we're very close to having all of those ironed out and just about finalized of what we're going to have. We have to have a few more discussions about some things, but we're very, very close.
And let me tell you, for folks who are talking about singles, I rolled my Honda Civic over that hill down onto that track a couple weeks ago, and I took about 10 laps. And I heard Pete Hansen talking about how he probably would have killed himself if he'd have stayed on that track with his truck because he didn't know how to. I got up to about 77 miles an hour, and I thought I was going 150. And so coming over that hill, down into that track, into that Coliseum, it's ridiculous. It's actually super cool. Just look around, and then we took tours, and we got up to the press box and got all over the, full access to that place. And I just can't say enough about people. You want to be there. You want to see this venue. You want to bring your car and be part of this, or at minimum, you want to be a fan, because this is something that, again, it's never happened before, at least at this level. And so to me, you want to be part of it. And again, whether you're in it or you're watching it, make sure you're there.
100%.
Let's make sure we get to this. No, registration's not opening on the 1st. So we're just going to put all the information out and then we're going to give everyone a week to digest, hey, look, this is what I got to do. So it'll be at least a week after that.
Right. We're doing that on purpose, because we don't want to put out registration and classes at the same time. We want to give people a chance to think about their options and what they might want to, if there's multiple classes they might want to be a part of or something like that. So we want to give you a chance to think about it before we open the registration up.
I'll let you, you want to tackle this one?
Yeah, I saw the comment. So listen, let's be real here. Would we want to have 160,000 fans in the stands in the first time? I don't think any one of us would say no. But that place is huge. So there's no concern, I don't think, at this point, that we're going to sell out the venue from a fan standpoint. We'd love to, by all means, but the tickets are going to be very affordable to show up and to be a part of the show and to watch the show. For 4 days of action, that's going to be a very affordable ticket, and you're going to have some options there as far as what kind of ticket you purchase. But there's going to be plenty of room for everybody to come and be a part of this. And hopefully, as we move into the future, our numbers will build, and that's what we want to do. And we do that by bringing Derby to the outside world. Yeah,
and David, I will agree with that. That's a great question. And again, it's not negative. I mean, bottom line is if we have 10,000, if we have 20,000, what's a great crowd? You don't know, but I will tell you that we will set up the venue so it will be very, very viewer friendly. And I think that's pretty cool. I mean, seeing just being in that, whether you've ever been there for a race. I mean, I've never been there for a race, hoping to get down there this weekend, but it's awesome. I've been to Michigan. I've been to a couple of other speedways. This one's way different, but I think it will set up very nice for Derby. I mean, heck, they played a college football game in there about 10 years ago. So, I mean, you've got 120 yards on the infield that is going to be really cool for pits, and we're going to have access to pits. It will be a great venue to watch a Derby. I promise you that. And again, no, there's not going to be 150,000 people there. We're not expecting that. Would it be cool? Yeah, it'd be super cool. But the bottom line is that if we have 10 or 20,000, it's still going to be a big time event, and we're going to make it very, very viewer friendly and accessible for our fans.
And to that end, we're going to have VIP sitting. So if you want to sit down in the infield, if you want to sit trackside in bleachers, we're going to have some bleachers set up around the track, and you're going to have that opportunity to do it. There'll be a limited number of seats, obviously, but for a VIP ticket, you can sit there and get that more up close county fair kind of feel, And if that's not something you're interested, we have the grandstands. You're going to get great views from there. We went up and we checked out the grandstands and what the view would be like from there, and there's not a bad seat. There's just not a bad seat.
No, and Woody, that's a perfect example. When I go to a venue, I mean, at college football or basketball, baseball, I like to walk around. I'm kind of like, where's Waldo? I want to go around and see as many seats and see as many views as you can. There's not a bad seat in that place if you're watching a race. And again, obviously, we're looking at the track, but we're going to set it up so that for a Derby track on that infield, there's not a bad seat in that place. And again, bottom line is we'll set it up so it's super, super viewer friendly and fan friendly, because that's what, again, if we're going to make this thing go, it's about you, the fan.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some comments on here, about how far it's going to, how far the stands are going to be from the track, and whatnot. That's a great question. Then to that, I'll say, hey, look, across the entire world, there's 60 to $100,000 or 100 seat venues, okay, that sell out to watch some form of a ball be thrown around. Okay, the view is not the best at those, right? We're going to be watching cars that are 20 feet long, 5 feet long or 5 feet wide, screaming, 6 feet wide, screaming across the track. It's going to be a good view. Now, do Derby people get a little bit spoiled when you're intimate on top of the action? Oh yeah, absolutely. But we're going to have those seats there for you. If that's what you have to see to watch a Derby, hey, it's there for you. If you want to sit in the grandstands because you're bringing the entire family, and or you want to party at the bar, no one said anything. We haven't even said about the bar halfway up the seats.
There's a huge bar right behind the seats. Like, I mean, I'm talking huge. And, if that's what you want to do is stand up there and have a few cocktails, a few beers, and watch the show from there, there's plenty of room to do that. It's going to be awesome.
Well, the day we were there too, I mean, the audibility, I mean, the sound in that Coliseum is amazing. There was one truck down on the infield the day that we were there, just driving around, and it sounded like, I mean, you would have thought that, I mean, you had a tractor pull going on, and it was just super cool. And I just can't imagine what those, those pro light cars are going to sound like, coming across over that hill and down into that pit.
We got a couple other questions here. Casey, sorry, man. Unfortunately, pit crews don't get in free anywhere else, so they're not going to get in free here. It is going to be a paid event.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and there's so on top of so Christy just mentioned there, on top of the media center, there is also a upstairs bar on top of that building. So we'll have that available for people with pit passes and infield seating as well at certain times of the event. People are going to have to understand that pits aren't going to be open the entirety of the event because we're going to have cars driving around, equipment moving around. So we, for the sake of safety and things like that, we don't want to have people getting too intermingled with that kind of stuff. So you'll have opportunities to go down there for sure, but at a certain point of the day or of the schedule, we'll have to close down pit area just for safety reasons.
Well, they also have they have the Victory Lane down there. They use that for the Motor Speedway up on top of one of the buildings, all checkerboarded out and all kinds of signage. And I'm sure some folks will have opportunities to get up on there as well, but you can see all that stuff from the grandstands, and the accessibility is really good. But again, I promise you will not be disappointed if you come to this venue and come to see this event.
Calvin asks if they're going to be a truck class. Yes, Calvin, there will be a truck class, a full-size truck class.
Says Brian Wood, the truck guy. So, trust me, folks, Brian Wood's hardcore involved with this. There will be trucks because that's what that guy drives, and that's what his specialty is.
Absolutely.
A lot of these questions are coming back in, kind of repeat stuff. Dirt or asphalt. It hasn't been decided yet for certain, but I think I would say the meter's leaning asphalt.
We're leaning towards asphalt, but we gotta make sure that we make an educated decision. So we're going to get educated as much as possible before we make the final call there. And that's
you always talk about safety. I mean, that's any derby you go to, but I know dealing with Triple D and King of Ohio and demo will be the same way. It's all about safety of the drivers, safety of the pit crews, safety of the fans. And so again, asphalt, obviously going to be maybe a little quicker surface. So you got to figure that out and make sure that we do things right so we keep people safe.
Right. It does us no good to put on a great show and have people get hurt while we're doing it. That doesn't do us any good. So we're just going to be mindful. And we're going to make educated decisions there in the best interest of the show and then for our competitors and our fans as well. So,
and the cool thing too about being down there, you got the question, but I'll lead into that. There's so much. Within 10 minutes, there's everything down there. Every restaurant, every hotel. I mean, it's a professional venue. That they do this for a reason, and they get people within 10 miles that are very affordable just outside. I mean, heck, when we stayed down there, we were maybe 8-10 miles away, and it was easy in and out, and it was very affordable as well. So, going down there, and again, you're going to have camping down there as well, which that camping site looks terrific, and runs right up next to their
drag strip,
which is super cool too. I mean, again, being at that venue for the first time, it's outstanding.
Thunder Valley.
Brian, are you heading security up? How are we doing that?
Oh, ain't nobody getting past this guy.
Don't
worry, Tony. I got it under control, dude. I'm actually very well trained. So
I'm
I
the old
spent
guy.
a better part of my professional life as a firearms instructor, a tactical firearms instructor. So
I'm the old guy, Tony. I'm just going to be talking to people off the bridge. That's what I do. I'm a guy.
no,
I bring
we
people.
will have a security presence there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there will be it's going to run as you would expect to go to an event like that. That's a professional motorsport, and there's going to be check-ins, check-outs. You're going to have to you're going to be scanning tickets. You're going to get badges, all that stuff. I mean, it's going to work just like that. There's going to be screening. I mean, heck, you're going to walk into this event just like a normal event, and you're going to get screened. You're going to have to walk through a metal detector or whatever, however they normally do it. So.
Well, and I would add to that, Woodsy, that when we were there a couple of weeks ago, they have their own security crew. I mean, they had guys that were coming in down and checking us and seeing what we were doing. And when it was starting to get dark, that crew was coming down, locking gates and making sure everything was under control. So, I mean, again, when you come to a venue like that, they've got people, they know what they're doing, and
they know the process. They know what they're doing.
Absolutely,
it's tried and tested. So we're not concerned about that.
Yeah, absolutely. And then there's a couple other questions. Yeah, they're going to be compact classes. And yes, there is pay-per-view. DerbyNation.tv will be doing our pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
And
I would, if you can't get to Bristol, get on, Derby Tees, because again, we're going to make that as good as it can possibly be. We're going to get folks on there that again, keep you moving. They keep it smart. They chat you up to everybody who's out there getting after it and demoing the teams and knowing a little bit of background. Again, promise you that broadcast will be worth whatever it costs. And again, if you can't make it to Bristol, get yourself there via the Derby Tees.
Yeah, Tony. So he said he didn't really mean that, Brian. Okay, you took that down the wrong road. All right.
Well, that's where my mind's.
Okay. I might have served that one up to you the wrong way too. So sorry about that. So he clarified a little bit, specifically pit security for pit lockdowns. Obviously, yeah, that's a thing. What's neat about having you guys in the track is when we lock down the track, you're not going to be able to get in the track. So when we do the sweep, at night to take everybody out, you're not getting back in the track.
And they have camera coverage of the entire facility. So.
Yes, and there's cameras. It's really not. I mean, I guess people can do crazy stuff, but I highly doubt that's going to be
good question. Good question, but we're going to make sure that that's addressed prior to the event, and we'll talk about that with the Bristol folks to make sure that those kinds of things are in place.
Yeah, I think Tony knows all about the cameras. I think he can get on. He's got access to.
Yeah, I think he's the one who took a picture of it while we were there.
Yeah, while we were there.
Hey, very resourceful. I applaud that. That's great.
Yeah, I didn't even know that. I didn't even know they had that camera there. So
tech savvy, baby.
Hey, I can't hate a guy for being smart.
Nope. Just like we can't hate you for being beautiful. It is what it is, man.
Just wait till I turn my hat backwards.
Wait till I mean, come on now.
That's good.
He turns his hat backwards. It's over, folks.
Yeah, hide your wives, hide your girlfriends.
So, Woodsy, while you're talking, while you're waiting on questions, and you maybe have already said it, how long does the voting go on for the vote-in teams, the final team?
So we're gonna end voting on the 17th. So March 17th, we're gonna end voting. So it'll be midnight Pacific time, West Coast time. So for us out here in Eastern Standard Time, it was like 3 a.m., something like that. If I got my step down right there, the hourly stuff, but we'll end it then. And then from there, we're going to start contacting those teams as we pull in that information from the poll. We'll contact them and, offer them the opportunity to register. And then when we have our full field, we'll put all of that information out to the public, and we'll be rolling. That's pretty exciting.
Yeah, and I think it's really cool. I mean, anytime you do stuff like that, you got to get Derby is about team. Derby is about family. I mean, and so you get, those folks that really want to be those last guys in, they get their crews, they get their families, they get people voting for them. And again, the cool thing is you can vote more than once, and you get after it for your people and represent. And, it's so cool just to look when you get on the website. Again, I'm sure Woodsy, you'll give that a few more times tonight, but being on the website, you get a chance to see where those folks are from. And again, doesn't give you a whole bio, but it shows you the state representation, which is, again, what you're trying to do. If we're trying to get this thing nationwide, again, what a great cross section of America that you've got in those 17 teams.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Can you vote more than once? Are we going through it? I mean, people are crazy. I think we're going to start talking about some of these questions that we're asking. We're probably not going to talk about that live. Josh Woodward, full size classes. Yeah, there will be some full size classes. Yep, there'll be some definite full size classes that you'll be able to.
I don't know. You drive a Camry around Bristol. I don't know, Jeff. What do you think, man? I think you were scooting pretty good.
Gosh, I mean, don't be a hater, man. I got my Civic, and I got up to 77 miles an hour. So, and I actually pulled into one of the pit stalls and acted like I was big time. So, I mean, yeah, I probably don't want to take my Civic in and take you on with your Camry or whatever you got. But I'm telling you, it doesn't matter what you drive in that place. It's intimidating. It's cool. Again, not being a guy who's ever sat in that seat. And I know what, I wish I, know what you guys feel and the adrenaline and just what, again, just talking and seeing folks and knowing that heartbeat, it's something that I listened to Pete Hansen on your podcast a couple of weeks ago, and he just said it's something that, 30 years of doing this, he never thought that he'd get this far. He just, you start in county fairs, you start wherever you start. And now all of a sudden you're driving into Bristol, over the hump at Bristol, into the last Coliseum, and you're going to go against the best of the best in the nation. Seriously. I mean, that's just super cool. So whatever you bring, I think you'll be fired up to be inside that track.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, guys, what else? You guys got anything else we need to talk about tonight?
Give them the website. Keep people updated. They probably already know what it is, but always get that website out and make sure that everybody knows where they can go and vote.
Right. Yeah. What I need to do is just put it on.
Put it up there. See, there you go. There's tech savvy again, Woodsy.
Yeah. James Torney asked, "What's the direction of this event?" So Bristol is the first event. It is not a one and done. The demo is not a one and done organization. This is meant to grow year after year, but we have to set realistic short-term and long-term goals. So we have to start somewhere and then build from there. Into the future years, we hope to have several events and continue to grow as we gain strength and unity. Strength as a sport, as an organization. We need those things in order to continue to grow. So the plan is to continue to grow, and then to be able to use that force, that power, if you will, from a national perspective, and trickle that down to the grassroots level, and work with promoters, vendors, fans, drivers all over the country, and be able to help and offer a united front behind them. And that's how we do it. But, we have to be realistic and know that that's not going to happen from day one, but that's definitely the goal. Thanks for the question. That's a good question.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll hang on here for just another, I don't know, we'll give it another minute here, but hey, a lot of good stuff tonight. Just a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes. We haven't been on here in a couple of weeks. We felt like there's just so much work to do that everyone's doing. We're in and out of meetings all the time, getting things done, that we needed to get back on here, talk about a lot of the exciting news. And Hobbs, you might have missed it in the beginning, but the most exciting news of the night is Chad Markley has Facebook. So,
oh wow,
yeah.
And listen, I will tell you, I watched your podcast with him, and actually, I would ask people to get on some of the TikToks, get on YouTube, and see some of the TikToks that some of the teams are making. I was blown away. They're super cool. Anytime you put music, cars, smashing, it's awesome. And so, yeah, but watching Chad on your Facebook, he is not the most tech savvy cat in America. He can drive a car. He is not the most tech savvy dude in the world, but for him to be on Facebook, that's impressive. And that tells you that we're coming. Demolition Derby is coming when Chad Markley has Facebook.
Hey, and look, we said we were going to get 100. We're not getting. He's at 94. We're not getting off here till he has 100. That's it. We got to get 100 followers for Chad Markley tonight.
So So Tony Burkhardt and Justin Booth have some questions we can throw up there.
Okay. There you
go. Tony, yes, you will be able to go out and get your own individual sponsors for your team. The only thing that we're going to ask through that process is that prior to that, you submit those to the executive board at Demo. So just so we can vet them, make sure that they're legit and stuff like that. But it's not going to be like you're only allowed to use from this list or something like that. It's just more of a vetting process to make sure that it's in the best interest of the event, of the organization, and ultimately for yourselves. So yes, you will be able to do that.
And Tony, I would say to you, go get it, my man. That's what we've been trying to get people to do for the last 4 years. We've been trying to get people to get out, get sponsorships, get people behind them. And so I'm all about it. But again, I agree with Brian's thoughts. It's just basically about the group. But I'm telling you, unless it's something really crazy, they're going to pat you on the back and say, get after it, my man.
That's great stuff. We want you to do that.
96 guys. We need 4 more, and then we're calling her a night. We need 4 more.
Throw Justin's question up there,
right. Justin.
So the idea is, yes, to have a point series, right? But we need several events to be able to accomplish that. So right off the bat, I think people would agree that's not realistic necessarily right off the bat to do that. So as we gain strength, we can have a point series, and there will be different factors with each event and stuff like that. But I don't think there'll be certain events where in certain classes where you have to have fresh cars, but we certainly want you to get full use out of the money that you have spent on your Derby cars. So we'll definitely have events and classes where you can bring pre-ran stuff too.
101. We hit it. There we go. Chad's famous.
All right.
He's going to have 102 as soon as we get off this podcast, because I'll get on there.
Oh, yeah. We got him. So, all right. Well, guys, thanks for coming on tonight. Episode 35 of the War Room. Hope everybody enjoyed it. Hope we got to everyone's question. And thanks for interacting, guys. Appreciate it.
Yep. It's Bristol, baby. It's Bristol.
Yeah. Bristol, baby. Yeah. Hey, and final thought, like I said, April 1st, information coming out about individual classes. Shortly thereafter, we'll have more information about registration. Stay tuned. If you have any questions, get on demomotorsports.com. At the bottom, there's a contact profile. It's my email. Send me your questions, send me your comments, send me your thoughts, and I will respond to you as quickly as I can. I'll get you the right answer and get back to you.
Vote for your favorite teams. Get after it. Let's go. Get those numbers up. It's Bristol, baby.
All right.